Probably the easiest decision for me as creative director on the project. It was like the #1 requested features by the fans, so it like we knew day one we wanted to bring it back.
All right, well, it looks like we got the game up and running here. You want to set the stage for us?
Yeah, so this is a mission that happens a lot later at the end of the game, where the engineers have attacked a liquid natural gas facility, and they've hit it with a Stuxnet-style virus. So all the fire suppressants, security in the refinery are offline. So Sam's going in, and we're fast-forwarding a little bit into the mission, and Sam needs to give Charlie, who's the resident hacker of Fort Echelon, access to a terminal to turn back on the fire suppressant system. And then after that, there's an engineer leader that we're going to try to capture.
So I know the Splinter Cell series, a very long-running franchise, sort of started out very sort of in the hardcore stealth sneaking genre, and sort of as it progressed, had more action-focused entries in its lineup. Where does sort of Blacklist fall between those two styles of game?
Well, we've been talking a lot about the different play styles when we're talking about Blacklist. I think when we started on Blacklist, we kind of identified the 3 types of players that really loved our franchise. So the first type of player was the hardcore stealth fan, the guy that really wanted to do non-lethal takedowns, never get detected. So we've made a lot of efforts to give that player a lot of tools, a lot of ways for him to express himself in the game. So
sort of very complete Ghost style.
Yeah, but you need a lot of tools to do that, right? Whistling is part of that. Having a sticky camera that can attract the enemy, to play with the enemies is also very fun. So, putting dead bodies in bins to hide them so that their friends don't find them is also some good features for the ghost players.
So something that's always sort of interested me about the stealth genre is how do you, if you're playing it correctly, then you're not getting detected, you're not getting into these huge firefights, there aren't big explosions going off everywhere. How do you give the player a sense of reward or a sense of like accomplishment when they're sort of avoiding the action?
Well, I think it's very rewarding for a player to play stealth, and we're seeing it at the booth. We have hands-on, and a lot of people are coming to play. It's very rewarding to play stealth because you really feel like you've outsmarted the enemy. So it's a very cerebral emotion that it gives you, right? And I think that on top of that, we've built a whole economy system in the game that rewards you depending on your play style. So the more stealth you play, the more you're going to be making money, and that money you can use to customize Sam, to upgrade the Fort Echelon plane, and to also customize your spies and your mercs.
Oh, okay. So sort of progression you make in the single player can then translate over into the...
Yeah, exactly. For us on Blacklist, it was very interesting to blur the lines between all the game modes. So, like we're not going to have a main menu with SP, single player co-op and spy versus mercs. The idea is it's a game about Sam Fisher. You're the leader of Fort Echelon, so after each mission you're going back to Fort Echelon, to the Paladin, which is the name of the plane, and in there it's a playable hub, so you can talk with different characters. And at the center of the playable hub, there's what we call the SMI, the Strategic Mission Interface. And that's basically a world map that shows you all the content available. So single player maps, co-op maps, spy versus mercs, and your friend's presence. So it's really about, jumping in, a co-op game with a friend, coming back to the plane, playing a little bit of solo, coming out, going to play spy versus mercs for half an hour, and then the economy system, regardless of where you made that money comes back to Sam, exactly, and then you spend it where you want.
So we've kind of been ignoring what Sam's been doing here on the screen. It looks like we've made some serious progress into this level. Catch us up a little bit on what's been happening.
So now Chris, who's playing the game for us, has arrived at a place where it's a very fun place to play. It's a nice example of the openness of our levels. So here Chris just arrived, and there's like 4 heavies that are right there. The heavy enemies, they're a lot more lethal. They can't get taken down by the front. You need to get them from behind. And they take a lot of damage. So you're better off avoiding them. So now Chris, I think, is going to take the sticky camera. That's our weapon wheel. He's going to take the sticky camera. He's going to I think he's going to play a bit more Panther. He's been showing Panther. So now sticky camera, change of perspective. He's marking an enemy. These guys are coming down. It's always stressful to play because you never know what's the AI going to do, because our AI is systemic, it's not scripted. So, now the AI went on the right, so Chris is a bit more stressed right now.
So even if you play up to the point, get spotted, die, respawn, even though you're playing through the same area again, the enemies might behave completely different.
Exactly. We've been showing this version yesterday and today, and it's always played a little bit different. Sometimes the guys that are playing get killed, so it's fun. At dinner, we had some fun teasing the guys that got killed during demos. But Chris is playing pretty well now. He's exploring a little bit. See at the bottom, he's getting $100 for exploration bonus. So again, rewarding the player for playing, for going around, doing things like that. So there's a heavy right there. Obviously, depending on how fast you go, you make more noise. Also, this is footprint tracking, so the thermal vision. Thanks to the economy system, you can customize, you can upgrade the vision mode. So footprint tracking allows you to see the path of the AI where they've been. So he's going to get that heavy from behind, hopefully not get seen. And this we've practiced a lot. So there's a heavy there with a gas mask. He's going to attract him with a sticky camera, release some sleeping gas, and execute to remove the helmet so that guy breathes this. There you go, and then he's gonna fall asleep. There you go, 175 stealth points. That's cool.
So if I've sort of been leveling up and buying upgrades for my version of Sam Fisher to sort of play in a very sneaky, non-lethal way, and then one day I decide, you know what, I'm not really digging this. I want to go in like full force, guns blazing. Will I be able to switch out the upgrades that I've purchased at all, or change up my setup?
Yeah, and most of our co-op maps are actually playable in solo also.
Okay.
And some of them are, I guess I would say, grindable a little bit. So, and we also have 4 difficulty modes. We have, rookie, normal, realistic, and our last mode is perfectionist. And the perfectionist, obviously the harder you play, the more money you're going to make when you succeed. And the perfectionist mode is the crazy mode where the AI is going to detect you super fast. They're going to take you down super fast. So stealth is harder, combat is harder, but also we're removing some features to make it even more realistic. So mark and execute's not there anymore. So it's really for the purists that like to suffer a little bit. They want to be forced to think before they act.
So it sounds like that's sort of been the, because Splinter Cell is such a long-running series, sort of finding that balance between, appeasing fans who have been with it since the beginning and, are sort of used to the challenges in a Splinter Cell game and giving them something new while also balancing it so that people who are new to the series can pick it up and just start having fun right away.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want to do, right? I think Splinter Cell is an amazing brand, and I want as many people as possible to enjoy it, right?
I'd be very curious to see what sort of like the story Bible looks like for Sam Fisher at this point. He's been through so many games, I think some books as well. He's been through all these different adventures. Like, how do you keep track?
We have actually an amazing writer, Richard Dansky, and the guy is not just an amazing writer, but he's also an encyclopedia. The guy has an insane memory, and he's such a great resource for us because he's always able to tell us, Sam has done this there, we can't do that, or he's really good. He's a great reference for us.
So he's got the whole timeline just mapped out in his head.
Yeah, and we've tried to get him to put it on paper, and every time he's like, no, it's okay, it's in my head, it's fine.
He's got the secrets all locked up here.
Exactly.
So what has the feedback been like for this game from the show, or like, has there been a demo release at all, or any sort of like early access for anything?
We haven't done any demos, but
okay.
The feedback has been really great up to now. I think especially today and yesterday, people got to get hands-on, and the feedback is great. People are really, they're feeling the stealth, they're feeling the tension and the stress, which is, it's something that it's visceral, and you get it when you're playing, when you're in control. It's always different when you're watching someone play. And also we've got Spy vs. Mercs that we're showing, and that's just like, sometimes I was doing some interviews and some people were playing Spy vs. Mercs, and then they started yelling because they were having fun. And I was like, I'm doing an interview,
Trying to get actual work done over here.
Have less fun, but it's really good. The guys are having fun. The game is really, really fun in Spy vs. Mercs, so we're having a blast with that.
Awesome. Well, looks like Sam was successful in his mission. Now we're taking a quick run through of a little sizzle reel here. Talk through a little bit of what we're seeing.
So that's basically a mashup of the whole game. We're showing some single player component, showing a little bit of co-op. So that's a couple of co-op sequences in there. Co-op is always so much fun, right? Talking with your friend, and I really like playing the missions where you're not allowed to be detected in co-op, because then you have this pressure to not make your friend be pissed off at you, right? So it's always stressful, and even now when we're playing at work, we're always going like, okay, the one that gets detected gives $1 to the other one, right? So we're just like, you don't want to get detected, so that's a lot of fun, and yeah, so that's.